Hey, good morning. I'm very excited to be a part of this webinar today and get to chat with you all a little bit about Noah Homes. It's an organization located in Spring Valley, California. For those of you who have been to California, we're way East County, and Noah Homes is someplace very near and dear to my heart. I have been with the organization for just about 11 years now, and I started as a volunteer when my children were little and fell in love, and within a week decided that Noah Homes was where I wanted to make my career. So I've been here for a long time. I tell people all the time that some of my very best friends live here at Noah, and so I'm excited to be able to share a little bit about who we are and what we do as an organization. So at Noah Homes, we have 90 adults who live with us, and we serve various abilities and disabilities. We are a nonprofit organization. As I mentioned, we're in Spring Valley. And one of the things that we are really well known for is the exceptional level of care that we provide to all of the individuals who live with us here at Noah Homes. We strive to ensure that everybody who works at our organization is very, very well versed in not just our mission, but also our vision and our core values. We actually have a living, breathing culture here at Noah Homes, and we teach classes and all around our mission, vision, and core values. So from the moment staff step into the organization, they are surrounded by our culture, which it exemplifies the model of exceptional care and treating each individual as the unique individual that they are. And also that we are working with each individual to meet them where they're at. And so the longevity of our staff is amazing. We have most of our managers have been here for 20 plus years. Our executive director has been here for almost 40, and that's a true testament of the fact that we take care of our staff as well as our residents here at Noah. So how we came to be was just about 40 years ago, we had a group of parents who wanted to have a community-like setting for their loved ones. And so they decided that they wanted to get together and really build what they considered a very solid community where their loved ones could be amongst friends and be able to interact with each other on a daily basis. And so they got together, they purchased land in Spring Valley, and we opened our first home in 2017. And over the years have added more homes as more individuals joined us. And today we have 10 homes, and as I mentioned, 90 residents who call Noah their home. So Noah Homes model is really, there's a lot of people talk about housing models, but we're really a model that does obviously provide a roof over their heads, but we're really grounded in the care that we provide to the residents, and the level of empathy and compassion that our staff have in their interactions is absolutely amazing. I tell people all the time, it's one thing to hear about Noah Homes. It's a completely another thing, as Ashley mentioned, seeing providers in person. It's a whole different thing when you actually get to step foot on the grounds and watch the individuals interacting with each other and interacting with the staff. It's an absolutely beautiful thing to witness. And we really strive to make sure that we're maximizing each individual's independence. And so we offer many different choices for individuals. As I mentioned, we have 10 homes, and our largest home serves 11 residents, and our smallest home serves 6 residents. And each house has its own personality and characteristics. We don't typically separate by ability or disability, age, or gender. We really strive to make sure that each family unit has the right mix of individuals. And so you'll have some of our most senior residents living with some of our younger residents, and then we have some individuals who require total hands-on care living with some individuals individuals that just might need some slight hand over hand assistance by the staff. And so we're finding as part of this community that individuals are learning from each other all the time, and everybody has something unique to contribute to the family unit of the home that they live in. So one of the things that sets Noah Homes apart from many other organizations is way back in the beginning when the first nuns who wanted to start Noah Homes decided on the setting of a community. We got grandfathered in to be allowed to have homes closer than 300 feet together. And I'll talk a little bit more about that setting rule as we get further into the presentation. But one of the things that's really special about Noah Homes is we do have a main community center, and we have the 10 homes that are scattered amongst the community. We have 2 smaller homes that are off-site, but they're within a quarter mile of each other. So people can really interact and engage with their friends on a daily basis. And our community center has lots of activities for individuals to choose from. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about the levels of care. So for those of you who are familiar with the levels of care in California, we're all licensed to a certain capacity. We have what's called level 2, level 3, and level 6 homes. And I'll just explain that a little bit to you. Our level 2 homes are what we would consider our highest functioning homes. They still have individuals that need assistance with things like maybe doing shopping, or they're not driving, themselves to different places. They may need help with managing their money. But as far as their ADLs go, their activities of daily living, they need very little support, maybe just some prompts and reminders. Then we have our level 3 homes. And for our level 3 homes, those individuals may need a little bit more hand over hand assistance, maybe brushing their teeth and bathing and things like that. And then we have what's now considered our level 6 homes. And those are homes that are for our highest need individuals. And at Noah Homes, those are individuals who have been diagnosed with either Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia. One of the things that happened, and I'll talk to you a little bit about our memory care homes. Noah was the first in the state of California to create memory care homes specifically designed to support individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are also facing the additional diagnosis of now dementia and Alzheimer's. And what ended up happening is, if you can imagine, we opened 40 years ago. And a lot of our residents joined us when they were very young. And a lot of our individuals had the primary diagnosis of Down syndrome. Well, as they started to age, we started to see a lot of different needs that were popping up that the individuals needed support with. And for those of you who may be familiar with the genetic link between Down syndrome and Alzheimer's, we did start to see our residents exhibiting early onset Alzheimer's. And that was happening, honestly, in their late 40s. And so the first time we had an individual who journeyed through that pathway in the different stages of Alzheimer's, we hit a point in time where we were not licensed to be able to care for that individual anymore. Their needs exceeded the level of care that we were licensed for in the state of California. As much as we loved that individual and we had cared for them for decades, we were told that that individual needed to leave the home that they've known for their whole life. Needless to say, this is the most difficult time in an individual's lives, and also for their family members. When that individual moved to skilled nursing, because she's so much a part of our family, we journeyed with her to the skilled nursing facility, visited her every single day until she took her last breath on this earth. And so that was devastating, obviously, to the staff. Many of our staff members, as I've mentioned, have been here for many, many years. So these individuals become like part of our family. And it was just such a tragic thing to watch happen that we decided we never wanted that to happen again. So we built the first 2 memory care homes in the state of California. By that time, we already had about 20 individuals in our own community that started to exhibit those early signs of Alzheimer's, 10 of which really did need to go into a higher level of care. So we opened 2. They have 10 spaces for each in each of those 2 homes. And we had 10 individuals from our own community move in, and then we welcomed 10 new individuals directly into our memory care homes. And I want to show you a quick little video of when we opened our memory care homes and what that was like for our residents. One of the big questions that I get asked over and over and over again is, because we have the different levels of care, and it starts at level 2, highly independent, and then when they need a little bit more help, they may transition to one of our level 3 homes. And all that means to us and to them is that there's more staff available to help them. And then when the time comes where they need that really heightened level of support, we will have individuals transition up into our memory care homes. We are a very fluid community here at NOAA, so there's a lot of consistency. Even though each home has its own personality, there's a lot of consistencies between the homes. So when an individual travels from one level of care to another, it's pretty seamless for them. The activity center still offers the same activities. The staff all get to know the different residents because they'll interact with them in activities throughout the week. They may drive them to and from their different day programs. So there's a lot of back and forth between staff and interacting, regardless of which house that they live in. So people ask me, when the memory care homes opened, were people afraid? Were they scared that they were going to move into the memory care homes? And I'm going to show you this video, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we've seen since we've opened those homes. So you could see the joy on their faces and how happy they were to know that they were going into this beautiful new home that was built especially to take care of them and everything that they needed. And so since those homes have opened, we have served 37 individuals, 18 of which had the opportunity to pass peacefully in their own home, surrounded by family, friends, and staff that have loved and cared for them for many, many, many years. So it's bittersweet watching that video because a lot of individuals are no longer with us. But we take a lot of solace in just knowing that they did not have to move out at the most difficult times of their lives, and that they were able to stay in their own home, which I think, at least for me, when I journey through my older years, I absolutely want to try to stay home for as long as possible. And so that's what we strive for here at NOAA. You can see here just a little bit about the demographics of the individuals that we serve. Again, we serve 90 individuals, and you can see that the largest portion right now of the individuals that we're serving does have the primary diagnosis of Down syndrome. Another thing I'm asked often is if I'm seeing a trend change with individuals who are interested in coming to NOAA homes, and I will say yes. We are seeing a lot more of our younger individuals who are interested in a community-like setting, like NOAA homes, coming to us with the primary diagnosis of autism. And so we're seeing a little bit of a shift in our demographics, as well as age. And so we're having a lot of individuals who are really, they're growing up and they're telling their families that they want to live independently. And so they're younger. We are able to take individuals as early as 22 years old. That's just because they can stay in the high school transition program till about 22. And then state funding will kick in for them through our regional centers after they graduate from high school. So that's right about 22. And a lot of our individuals that have moved in recently, particularly right pre-COVID and post-COVID, have been just graduates of their high school transition program. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our programs, and this is what we are, and this is the part that I think really makes NOAA Homes unique, and that we have that what I would call a shared infrastructure. And so there's so many things that happen on a daily basis for our residents. Every day is different, and so if you imagine we have 10 homes on a weekend, let's just say, we might have one of the houses going to the zoo, and another house might be going to SeaWorld, and a different house is going fishing at the park. And those individuals that live in that home may decide to go with their friends that they live with, or they might decide to go with their friends that live down the hill and do a different activity. And because we are a community, they are able to pick and choose from so many things that we offer. That also goes for activities that we have every day. So we have activities that we host here at NOAA in our main community center, and then there's various activities that go on all throughout the week. So typically our residents go to what we would call a day program, or they may be employed in the community, and they typically leave around 8 and they come back around 2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then it's game on. It's really fun here for the folks at NOAA Homes. They usually, put their stuff down from work that day, and then they decide what they're going to do, whether it's karaoke here or Zumba here. They may go to dance class in the community. We have lots of individuals that choose to go to a Bible study on Tuesday nights. And then the weekend, everybody's out and about. So the house will choose what activity that they may want to go on in a particular weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and then they all get up and off to their picked activity. So the individuals really get to advocate for what they want to do, who they want to do it with, and then we have lots of staff floating around. So we're able to pair up the staff that like to go on those activities with the residents as well, because we feel very strongly if the staff are having a good time, then the residents are having a good time, and vice versa. So it's really fun to watch our residents be able to negotiate with each other on what activities they would like to do in any given time. Another thing that we have here at NOAA, it's really important for us to ensure that our folks continue to grow their circle of friends. I know that for me in particular and our staff, having meaningful connections is very important. And the same holds true, obviously, for our residents at NOAA Homes. So through the period of COVID, when the world shut down, obviously it was hard for all of us. It was hard for the staff, it was hard for the residents, but staff still got to come and go, right? We were able to go home to our families or, communicate with our friends. And because most of our residents were connected to people through their day programs, they weren't able to connect with them through COVID. So we started a virtual social club, and that allowed individuals from outside our community to get together for activities with the residents here at NOAA, and that was a huge success. And so when we came out of COVID, we decided to continue that program and to allow others to come and join. So we created a membership social club that's still going very strong. We have 100 plus members that join us on any given month for any given activity. And they have things like a sweethearts ball where they bring their significant other and they'll have a dance. Last weekend they went to the museums. They may go to the flower fields in Carlsbad. They've gone to SeaWorld recently. So all kinds of fun activities that they get to join their friends with in the community. Another first for NOAA, not that long ago, is that we opened the first People First chapter in East County for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So many of you may be familiar with People First as the advocacy group for individuals. And so we had applied for a chapter and became a chapter, and we had many of our residents run to be on the board, and we're very excited to hold ranking positions in their People First organization. And they voted for, who it was a true vote, and the excitement and pure joy on their faces was amazing. Another thing that we saw happen is that individuals who were pretty quiet and not engaging in lengthy conversations with others. I can think of two in particular that have a primary diagnosis of autism, were very socially separated from many other individuals. And we have watched them truly blossom to the point where they were getting up making speeches at last month's People First. And I just thought that was an amazing experience for us to see, and for their parents to watch their loved ones grow and blossom throughout their time here at NOAA Homes. So here's some of the fun activities that our residents get to participate in on any given time here at NOAA Homes. Every holiday is a huge celebration here at NOAA. Oftentimes we will have individuals that no longer have loved ones that are here with us. And so we celebrate every holiday here as a family unit. And so they have a lot of fun interacting with each other. I think I saw a comment come up about funding. So at NOAA, there's no out-of-pocket expense for people to live at NOAA Homes. And so we are covered about 67% by the state of California. Everything else is something that we need to come up with the funds for. And we do that in a very varied opportunities throughout the year. We have 2 fundraisers annually that bring in a good portion of that deficit. We also have grants that we apply for that fill some of that deficit, but it is a really big lift. And that is one of the things that we have been working on for so long at NOAA Homes. And I'm sure all of you are advocating for funds and resources, but it's really important that our individuals get to continue to live the quality of life that they deserve. And the only way that can happen mission is to make sure that we have staff that are able to provide those services. Unlike other industries, we can't stick robots here and, assume that everything's going to go according to plan. We are a people-oriented organization. They need people to take care of people. And so it's important that they have the appropriate staffing ratio to make sure that they can do all the things that they want to do and the same kinds of things that you and I would do, along with the same quantity of choices, right? I've had a lot of families that have moved to Noah Homes, and one of the biggest sentiments that we hear is, I really like the fact that my loved one has choices. And again, that's about our community setting. I've heard stories about, there was one staff member in a house of 6 residents, and so they kind of all had to go or nobody could go. And that same thing doesn't really apply here at NOAA, because if an individual doesn't want to go on a particular outing, there's always enough staff around where they could stay, or they could choose a different activity to do in the community. Something that we looked at very strongly when we opened up our memory care homes was, what is the difference between taking care of our folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities and now what we're facing when we're taking care of individuals with that added diagnosis of dementia. We wrongly assumed in the beginning it was going to be the same. We had, 35 years of experience, and we thought that that same level of experience would serve well in our memory care homes. And while it did to some degree, we did find that staff needed more. And so we began creating training classes internally first for our staff to be able to get the added support and understanding that they needed to feel successful in taking care of individuals with that added diagnosis of dementia. We did have a lot of long-term staff that were starting to doubt their capabilities because the same tools and techniques that they had utilized for 10 plus years wasn't working anymore. And so we saw what was happening. We created lots of training classes internally, and then we started to share those classes with other agencies, particularly San Diego Regional Center. Our caseworkers are in and around all the time. They were very interested in what we were doing and how the level of care was so far and away above anything else that they had ever experienced. And so several of the regional center employees started taking the training classes that we have here at Noah Homes. Word got out, and we were asked to train all of the caseworkers at that time that worked at the regional center in San Diego County. It continued that way for over the course of the last 8 years, and 2 years ago, we opened up our Training Institute for Excellence. We do now offer classes for other agencies to be able to understand those additional diagnoses, and we are vendorized with the Department of Social Services to be an authorized training vendor through community care licensing. And so we now offer those classes to other agencies, particularly administrators who are interested in keeping their administrator's license. We're all required to get 40 hours every 2 years. And so we're offering those classes. And we also have offered many, many, many classes to family members, to community partners. And I'll share some of our collaborative partnerships with you. We have been working with Sharp Healthcare and training their nurses. As I mentioned, San Diego Regional Center, San Andreas Regional Center, North LA County Regional Center. So we're working with a lot of regional centers in the state to let them see what we feel is a standard level of care and what is going to be required information for staff to know to be successful in those interactions. Another thing that's really neat about the training classes that that we offer is they were all created by people who have lived experience working in the field at Noah Homes. And so we're carrying with us over 40 years of lived experience into our training classes. And many of our residents themselves have given us input on the classes that we offer. So they'll take them. Oftentimes you'll see our folks popping in and out of the training classes that we offer for staff. And so that's been a really nice thing for us to be able to give to our residents as well. And they're teaching us a lot, right? If I'm creating a class and I say, I believe that something like this would be uncomfortable for an individual with a primary diagnosis of autism, I may have my residents telling me, yes, that's very uncomfortable. I wish more people knew that. And this is how I feel when that happens. And so we're able to bring all of that into our training classes and to be able to carry that message forward. We have 90 residents right now, and we feel that that's a very good size for our community. We're not looking to replicate Noah Homes, in another location. We're not looking to expand to another 10 homes, but we do have a very strong mission of ensuring that these individuals get an appropriate level of care regardless of where they live. So in line with our mission and core values, we are offering this training to other organizations, and we're watching beautiful things become to come from that. One in particular, I did mention that Noah Homes was the first memory care homes to open in the state of California, specifically built for this population. We only had 20 available units here at Noah, and we have had a wait list from the moment that those homes opened. Obviously, with as many individuals we have in our own community with that primary diagnosis of Down syndrome and their aging, we have our kind of an internal built-in wait list here at Noah because we know they're going to need it. But there is a significant shortage of beds for individuals with that level of care. Sadly, as I mentioned, the only other option is these individuals were being sent off to skilled nursing facilities. And oftentimes those facilities are used really to rehabilitate somebody potentially after a surgery, and then they come back to that organization that they were living in. But in dementia, you don't rehabilitate. Sadly, it continues to progress until the individual passes away. So in line with that, we wanted to do whatever we could to ensure that there were an appropriate number of options for these individuals. It was terribly heartbreaking when I would get call after call after call from families who were just desperate, to the point where one mom called me and said, I don't know what to do. Should I just drop her at the hospital? I can't keep her safe. And another parent had called me asking if they should call the police because they didn't know what to do because their loved one kept eloping in the middle of the night. And so all these tragic situations were popping up. We're full here at Noah, and so we actually were approached by an organization called Active Care Living, and they had been around longer than we had, but experts in the field of dementia care. They did not serve individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but they decided that they wanted to continue broadening their mission, and they understood that dire need for individuals in our population that needed adequate care. And so we partnered with that agency. We started with 20 available units here at Noah Homes. We helped this organization design a program design that was submitted to our regional center and approved. And then we went back through and trained all of their staff on the differences between caring for an individual with who's just aging and has dementia, and then what it takes to care for our individuals as well. And so the beautiful thing that happened with that is we added an additional 40 units in San Diego County. So we went from 20 to 60 beds, and then we continued with that mission up in Orange County. And so they went ahead and we opened 3 more locations, each with 20 available units in Orange County as well. So just through the advocacy of making sure that people knew what was happening, knew about the crisis, knew about the shortage of options, we were able to join together and join forces and be able to provide additional high level care for our most fragile population. And that's, we were able to take many individuals actually out of a skilled nursing environment and put them into an organization that was able to provide a very robust social program. And so we were able to see individuals grow. One thing that happened very recently as well with Noah Homes, we are a large community and we currently, as I mentioned, exist on a waiver. So it is difficult in the state of California to just go ahead and replicate what we have anywhere in the state, because we are the oversaturation rule is you can't have a home that cares for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities within 300 feet of another home that cares for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. When I first heard that, when I joined the organization, I was appalled. I don't come from this field originally. I came from a different kind of background. And I thought to myself, I think the only time I've ever heard that kind of a restriction was when people were talking about sex offenders. Like, it's really hard for me to understand why there's a law that prohibits individuals from being a certain distance from their friends. If I want to move into a senior community as I start to age, I have that right. I can do that. So it's really sad to know that other agencies aren't able to replicate that until this oversaturation rule is sort of abolished. And I know there's many agencies hoping to change that in California, but as of today, that exists. Along with that, there comes some naysayers that believe that a community setting like NOAA is not appropriate. And that every individual should be living in their own individual apartment and in their own home or in a home in the community. We believe in all of those settings at NOAA, and we just believe we're a choice, right? An individual should have a choice of where they live. And so one of the neat things that happened is there is a research study that was conducted at NOAA Homes by UCSD. And so they came and they evaluated our community. They looked at all of our social programs, interacted with our residents, and with the permission of residents and families, they looked at medical data to see how are individuals at NOAA Homes different and how are they similar to others as they age with this diagnosis of Down syndrome and dementia. And one of the really nice things that came out of that study is that the social model like NOAA significantly contributes to their overall health and well-being. So these social connections, being among like-minded peers, really did well for our residents, and that the staff training and empathy and compassion was a significant key to ensuring that the residents had the appropriate level of care that they needed. So we talked a little bit about the ways that we look to receive additional funding at NOAA Homes. Another thing that we try to do is make sure that we are always inviting the outside community into NOAA Homes to interact with our residents. And so we have a lot of volunteer opportunities at NOAA. Aside from the fact that they save us about $37 an hour is about what you calculate volunteers to be worth at NOAA. This brings a whole wealth of fun activities, because if you have an individual that's very passionate about playing the guitar, they're going to come here and that excitement is going to spread to the residents. And then the residents are going to share their enthusiasm with the volunteers. And so you see this beautiful community happening when volunteers join us for fun activities. And so a lot of our volunteers grow up to be staff. They may become donors for Noah Homes. They may help us with some of our larger fundraising events. And so we're always looking for volunteers to come in, and it's as simple as, maybe reading to some of our individuals that are residing in our memory care homes, reading some stories to them, or flipping through picture books, to as elaborate as playing, a game of basketball on the courts, or volunteering in our administration office. There's always something for a volunteer to do here at Noah Homes. Some of the other ways that we raise that deficit is we have monthly donor programs, we have matching gift programs, we create Amazon wish lists that anybody can purchase off of per house, and so you could really get involved with a particular house if you wanted to check out their wish lists. We have a lot of corporations that sponsor us for our events because we get their name out there. And a lot of organizations feel very passionate and have a lot of social awareness about the importance of caring for this lovely population. And so we have corporate sponsors as well. And again, as I mentioned, volunteers that come to Noah Homes. And so with that, I'd like to show you a day in the life of one of our residents here at Noah Homes. It's coming, bear with us.
My name is Laura. I live in Casa de Fe. Join me on a day of my life.
Can I come in?
I like to start my day early. Always make my bed before leaving. My staff helps me out if I need it. I say good morning to my housemate. Eat breakfast. I get to catch up with my morning staff. My staff is very compassionate and kind and take care of me. My boyfriend Tim always walks me to my event in the morning. The riding and singing is fun. I catch up with my friends, listen to fun music. At day program, I work on the garden, take dance classes in the pavilion, and make art at Sophie's Gallery. We get picked up from same mass at 3. My friends and I tell our staff about our day. When we get back, we relax before the evening activity is Monday. So we have dance class. It's a lot of fun with my friends and my boyfriend. Throughout the week at Noah Homes, there are many activities, and my favorites are People First. I am the president of our chapter. My friends and I advocate for ourselves. I love it when we have dances with our social club. Thank you for joining me for a day in my life.
So very happy to report that they just celebrated their year anniversary here at Noah Homes and went out on a special date night. So with that, I'd be happy to open it up and answer any questions that you might have about Noah Homes in our community.